Catch up with Italy's hottest cooking couple. Take a turn at handmade pasta the old-fashioned way. Then crank out 30 tons a day as Pierre rolls into the world's biggest noodle factory. This time on Pierre Franey's Cooking in Europe.
Pierre Franey's Cooking in Europe is made possible by the Grand Marnier Foundation and Michel Roux Chairman. The Grand Marnier Foundation is proud to support public television.
Bruna Santini has been making fresh pasta almost every day, just like this, for more than 40 years. The Barilla family has stood out as pasta giants even longer, since 1877. Grandmother Bruna takes eggs collected from her husband's chickens and gently beats them into the flour. The Barilla factory takes cutting-edge technology to produce what Italians consider great pasta. Bruna cuts each strand she creates by hand and hangs it out in the sunshine to dry. The factory cuts its pasta into thousands of perfect strips, each strand identical to the next. Here in Italy, traditional and modern pasta making come together in the north of the country, on the rich agricultural plain watered by the Po River. Thanks to the fertile land, the Po Valley represents Italy's most productive food region. Pierre had come here to find Italy's best pasta, and those in the know had directed him to one country restaurant an hour south of Milan, a place called Dal Pescatore. The old vine-covered stucco and timbered structure is built right up against the road. In the kitchen, Pierre spent a mesmerizing morning in the company of grandmother Bruna Santini. Never had he seen hands so experienced and nimble at making pasta. Pierre the pro was wowed by what this lone, self-trained woman could turn out all by herself. But Dal Pescatore is a family affair. Behind the restaurant, down by the river Oglio, Bruna's husband Giovanni grows his own vegetables and tenderly raises his own flocks of duck, geese, and chicken. The Santini family bought the property in 1920 and opened a small grocery store. But this was a cooking family, and they soon added a rustic eating place of utmost simplicity. Then son Antonio and daughter-in-law Nadia roared onto the scene. The young couple were on the fast lane, with university degrees in political science. Neither had spent much time in the kitchen. Both envisioned legal careers. But when his father considered selling the restaurant, Antonio said no, he was coming home. The dashing couple has now revved up the simple trattoria into a culinary frontrunner, the hottest restaurant in Italy, and the latest Michelin 3-star. But Dal Pescatore's kitchen shows that this is no typical haute cuisine shrine. It remains first and foremost a down-to-earth family affair. Here, woman power fuels the show, unlike most male-dominated 3-star kitchens. Bruna produces the fresh pasta each day, and then Nadia takes charge of the kitchen with a gentle but firm hand. When Pierre came to visit, the two women brought out a special treat, the family's heirloom pasta machine, almost 300 years old. Nadia explained that pasta was so hard to make with it that it was done only on special occasions. As always, Pierre never shied away from some hard physical labor and was happy to take a crank at the tough turn. Bruna, Pierre, and Nadia gathered behind the stove to prepare a simple recipe called bigoli al tocchio with the fresh pasta they had just cranked out.
That's a 1 hour.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. That's
This is very hard to prepare, but very good to eat.
Yeah, very good.
And then we put in the boiled
You put on
Sale?
boiling water.
yes, no,
I put a little bit of salt.
and then
You stir it.
devono bollire 6 o 7 minuti.
They boiled 5, 6 or 7 minutes. It depends because we prepare it very dried, very seasoned. And,
Depends how long you want to cook them, yeah.
yes,
You want them al dente
In
or
the-
whatever.
al dente.
Al dente.
They had to be al dente because it's important they are better digestive.
Yeah. The digest better, good.
No. And then we begin to prepare, in the same time we prepare oil, we put,
Olive oil, huh?
yes,
About 2 tablespoons of oil, 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And she's got some spring onions, or yeah, that's chive, you know. Very tender. It's about 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons. Coarsely chopped. And then she has Savoy cabbage. They're nice, huh?
they are very
There, there.
from our garden.
From your garden, eh? Oh,
Yes.
very good.
Heavy.
It's about 2 cups
Excuse me.
of, take cut it about it. Yeah, about 2 cups of Savoy cabbage. Can you use the other cabbage? No.
This in this area it's traditional to have it in the garden along all the
All year.
winter. The
So you
winter
get them in
and
the
then
sun, yeah.
in spring it is very easy to use because the flavor is very
And
good.
they're very tender. Those.
It's very tender because they had possibility to stay in the fields during the very cold night.
Yeah.
When there is the ice outside, and then this is tender because they had
Yeah.
ice.
They are nice, yes. So you sauté that very quickly, huh? So you cook that until wilted, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Put this salt, pepper, none.
Okay. This is
It's crunchy. It's crunchy. Nice.
very sweet, very sweet.
Very sweet and
Per dimagrire.
yeah,
Just
pepper.
bene,
Yeah, come on, huh? And it's very. It's still crunchy, but tender. So you got anchovy here.
Yes, this is anchovies,
Like,
salt anchovies.
The salted anchovy.
Yes.
It's about
When begin
three,
to
four,
boil,
6 fillet of anchovies.
or less. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Excuse me.
Quasi
Now
pronti,
we
eh?
can put.
No, sicuramente.
You got some? You got a six. You need about 4 anchovies.
Quasi pronto.
Okay.
You cook it quickly.
This is okay.
Okay? It's cooked.
Quello io.
She's gonna drain it. Drain it good. You toss it, huh, Mama?
Cosa mettete sulla destra?
The anchovies and the olive oil. Then put that over the cabbage. It smells so good. I like the smell, the flavor, the anchovies and the there's no garlic in here, huh? Just
No, not
no
garlic.
garlic. Is that? Ah. So you have enough for 4 here, right?
Yes.
It's an appetizer.
No. This is
Very
just-
simple. Can I taste it?
Okay.
Oh la la.
One taste made Pierre realize that fine handmade pasta was worth all the effort. But most Italian pasta is made in quite a different setting. Barilla, Europe's biggest pasta producer, is headquartered nearby, also in the Po Valley. Pierre had come for a tour of the world's biggest pasta factory. On his way, he stopped to see workers unloading the semolina flour. A single bag contains 3,000 pounds of refined wheat. Pierre was privileged to open a bag himself and watched with amazement as the semolina was poured right into underground pipes leading to the factory.
This is made with real durum. Special wheat, which is very hard, very light, and it makes a first-class pasta.
Inside, machines replace Bruna's hands, and computers have been programmed to make up for years of hands-on experience. The factory was so large that Pierre adopted his favorite mode of transportation to find his guide for the day, Barilla's Lamberto Prati.
Yeah, welcome. The biggest pasta plant in the world.
Well, I tell you, I'm very happy to be here. I love pasta myself. Finally, I'm going to see how they're done.
First, Pierre saw the mixing. Nothing more than wheat and water are combined to produce premium pasta dough.
How long do you mix it?
The process lasts about 1 hour.
1 hour. The reason for that, you have to do it for 1 hour?
To give homogeneity to the mixture.
This simple factory manufactures more than 120 different shapes of pasta, with such wonderful names as farfalle, cavatelli, gemelli, and fusilli. And of course, miles and miles of spaghetti. All in all, an astounding 300 tons of pasta are produced here each day. Signor Prati pointed out proudly that Barilla has developed a new Zenit wheat that prevents its pasta from sticking and clumping. Seeing all this pasta made the cook in Pierre almost boil over with delight. And Pierre just had to view everything from top to bottom. Barilla has long dominated the Italian market, and in recent years, as pasta consumption has soared in the United States, the family-owned company has crossed the Atlantic.
Okay, here we are at the end of the drying process, and we have spaghetti completely dried. We cut the cat here
On top.
and then we cut in the middle, and then at the end we have 4 pieces.
You got 4 pieces.
4 pieces.
They're
Exactly.
going to go in a package.
Exactly.
I see. The automation is very precise. I like that.
So, as I told you before, we are not only the market leader in Italy, but we are a market leader too in Europe. And now I can show you the end of the process, where we can have a look to our spaghetti box. It is sold not only in Italy, but in Europe and in USA too.
Well, I saw those packages in the USA.
Back in the countryside at Dal Pescatore, Grandpa Santini had picked some fresh spinach for Pierre, who was waiting behind the stove with Bruna and Nadia.
I got some nerve, you know. I'm going to cook pasta for those 2 beautiful ladies here. They're real expert. They make pasta all the time. And I was in a pasta factory yesterday, and I'm going to cook some pasta here with them. They're going to help me. So I got some salted water here. Put about a pound.
Oh, you can cook all.
Well, I want to
Yes.
cook. You going to eat them?
Yes, after we can eat.
Ah, okay,
Yes.
all right. You don't know, maybe they'll be no good.
We can prepare many kinds of sauce.
So you make the tomatoes and put it here. This is their olive oil they make here. About 1 tablespoon of olive oil. That's it. I'm going to use some later on. Okay? I put a clove of garlic. I crush it a little bit, like this, in here. And We don't want to burn the garlic as usual. And meanwhile, I'm gonna, when the pasta are cooking, I got some peas from the garden too, fresh peas. I'm gonna blanch them 1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute, okay?
Tieni.
You want it here? Good. And then I put the tomatoes over here. This is a very simple dish. That's the kind of cooking they do here, you know, it's very simple. Simple. All the tomatoes.
Adesso vuoi il
Put the
formaggio?
salt.
Mamma no, mamma
Yeah.
mi piace.
Later on we're going to use,
Dopo,
yeah.
quando è...
We could do that, sure.
Sì, va bene?
Oui, allez-y, oui.
Vai. Grazie.
Those tomatoes, they have so much flavor, you know.
Però tieni così.
And basically this is very simple. Those pasta, they take about 10-11 minutes to cook, so it's going to take a while. Meanwhile, the sauce is going to cook. And I'm going to put some crushed basil from the garden here, a little bit. Leave. I just put it this way here. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Well, okay, I think I'm going. What I want to do is cook it some more here
Yes.
together.
Ok.
You want to drain them? Oh. You drain them for me. Very good. And I didn't need more shoes. All right, put it there. Okay. I'm going to put the peas. All
Ok.
right. The poivre, freshly grated brown pepper. Just blend them like this. Like. I'm going to put a poco, a peu.
Poquito.
A peu, and the olive oil a little bit. Where's the olive oil?
It
1 tablespoon.
is here.
Just but 1 tablespoon, just at the end. Then I put this here. Hop. And saute them like this.
Do
Okay?
you want I help you?
Yeah. Just cook them briefly like this. And that's a little bit, you know. They're very tender, those little.
C'è il primo e il secondo.
And that's it. We're going to put them in here. It's about enough for 4 people here. I put everything in.
Do you want a little bit cheese
Yeah,
more?
the cheese over, naturally, yes. Some rich cheese over and maybe some fresh basil over like this. You taste it, you tell me.
Pierre spooned out his pasta in the generous portions of the Italian kitchen, and La Nonna gave her nod of approval.
Have it through, huh?
Bravissimo.
For a final recipe, Giovanni had gathered up some fresh eggs for Nadia to prepare an Italian omelette called a frittata.
Now we prepare frittata. Okay?
So, what is that? Spring
Yes.
onions, right?
Yes, these are the spring onions that we have in the garden. They are a little bit red around, and this is a quality.
So you remove the top, the
Yes.
green part. Yes.
The green parts, the more part of green parts, it's very hard, and then
Tough,
we
yeah.
remove, and then we cut very, very thin.
Yeah, you're very good with knives too, huh? All right.
Ottimo, accendiamo lì, no? Mettiamo,
Yeah, I want to
accendiamo
know.
qui.
Yeah, all right. It's about 3 cups.
Mettiamo qui.
It's about 3 cups of onions. Okay. Very good.
And then we have put
Butter, huh?
butter, 50 grams,
It's about 4 tablespoons of butter.
and then we open the fire.
You want to cook it a little bit?
We
She
put
put-
a little bit brodo.
That's a chicken broth, right?
Yeah.
Little bit. So that way you kind of cook them, you braise them.
Yes.
It takes, how long does it take?
In 3 minutes, I think it's enough. Then they are cooking. In the same moment, we can crush the eggs.
So
See?
your mama's going to make the omelette, huh?
Yeah.
This is for 4 people, right, this omelette?
Yes, for 4 people.
9,
9,
10,
10.
10 eggs.
Formaggio,
Le fromage. It's about...
Parmigiano.
Parmesan, grated. It's about a third of a cup of cheese, too. Here.
sale,
Salt, a little bit again.
pepe,
Pepper. And we're going to cook
poi
them
si
over there.
sbatte, dopo lo mettiamo, accendi pure. Aspettare un minuto, deve la
See the
cottura
bu-
regolare.
Make sure that
little
it's
bit.
bubbling nicely. And she going to put the eggs. Ah, look at that. You see, very carefully. And with a wood spatula, you kind of stir it, blend it very well. She go out around the edges
Noventina, vedi
and
tu?
bring it inside, so that way the eggs cook evenly.
Coperto,
Ah.
messo i gani.
It takes a little time to do.
Sì, fino che bella densa.
Yeah. The fire, the flame's got to be not too high because it's kind of thick, the omelette. It's going to take a while for that to cook, to set.
It's important.
She's
that-
using a non-stick skillet, by the way.
It's important that this frittata can be into very, very soft.
Yeah, the center.
And now we begin to remove and to put in the middle because the eggs, they are beginning to cook. You see?
Yeah. Very important, yeah. Setting now.
Riuniscila bene
Sì, sì,
intorno.
ma mamma adesso.
We can have like a cake. You see that?
Yeah.
Very around
So it's
it.
loose around. She moves around the omelette. It's
Has
loose.
to be
Spiega che
very.
ritere qualche arché perché le non perché
We use this because it is in old.
Yeah, I could see it's old.
Yes,
How many
very,
omelette
very
you
old.
made with this?
It's important because he is very diritto.
Yeah, you see, yeah. That's the old one. If you reverse it,
Mi fallo vedere là. Sì, sul fuoco mettilo.
that's it. Beautiful. Huh?
This is very easy and very fresh plate that in this season many people want to eat. Of course, many they want to eat caviale, the salmone, but
This
the
is
most
different.
part, yes, this is different.
Personally, I love this. One more time. Oh boy, that's it. Oh là là, ça sent bon. Beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful. Thank you. I'll give you a kiss.
After all that cooking, it was time for some tasting. When Pierre and Antonio sat down, the Santini served up quite a spread. Bruna's beautiful pasta was first up. Meat-filled tortellini floated in a homemade broth and was spiked with a generous punch of local red wine. Next came a plate of tiny fish from the river, which had been dipped in flour and lightly fried before being marinated overnight in vinegar. Then Nadia asked Pierre if he liked eel. Pierre shies away from few foods, and eel certainly is not one of them. He found the combination of the freshwater fish and garden herbs a rare treat. He was equally game for the baby goat, topped with fresh olive oil, parsley, garlic, and lemon. At Dal Pescatore, Dessert is a feast of color and flavor, and by this time, the whole Santini clan had gathered around the table, and Pierre was ready for a toast.
And now I understand why. It's a beautiful family. I understand why Michelin Guide gave 3 stars to this restaurant. There's a lot of people who are really love food, who care about food, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, salute everybody.
After seeing the 3 generations of Santinis together, Pierre was again reminded that there's nothing better than a dedicated family preparing simple, honest, home-style food.
All the recipes from today's show and the entire series are contained in the companion cookbook Pierre Franey Cooks with His Friends, published by Artisan. To order, call the number on your screen, 1-800-235-3000. The 224-page book contains more than 100 color photographs of the chefs, restaurants, food, and places Pierre visits in the series, as well as over 100 recipes. The price is $30 plus shipping and handling. Please have your credit card ready when you call 1-800-235-3000. Pierre Franey's Cooking in Europe was made possible by the Grand Marnier Foundation and Michel Roux Chairman. The Grand Marnier Foundation is proud to honor the legacy of Pierre Franey.